Hi, Top Pro. I want to show you a plan that you can customize your listing presentation and not sound like anybody else. So there's two ways. You can either memorize every word of the listing presentation script by one of the more popular coaches, or you can do, this is a very famous coach, Floyd Wickman, and these were the notes. And so basically what you're doing in step one is you're pretty much just explaining to them, and you would put this on your iPad and upload it into a PowerPoint. Well, here it says step one, expose your home to the largest possible agent base. So he's explaining, this is what I'm going to do for you. Well, there are, say 1,500 agents in this particular area. And then each one of those agents probably has about 10 buyers, as you know, sitting in their desk. Therefore, you can bring to the table right there 15,000 possible buyers. Whereas if they're trying to maybe sell this on their own, they will begin to see why 88% of the homes right now are listing with an agent rather than trying to do for sale by owner. When people are coming into town and their company is sending them in and they're going to buy something right away, they have to move. They don't have time to go around looking at the, 12% of listings that might not be advertised with an agent. They need to just get the job done and buy a home. So unfortunately for those people that are trying to do it themselves, who do you think that they get trying to buy their home? They get the bargain hunters, the people that are taught the zero down. A lot of times they're not qualified. These transactions fall through for them. I mean, they really get the low end of the buyer spectrum. So of course, you can get them more money, and that's why people have been using agents for over 100 years, because it does pay for itself. But you have to kind of show them certain things. So here's a list of ideas and things to put inside your listing package or your iPad presentation, which is just a simple PowerPoint or Keynote presentation. So it doesn't matter whether you want to do this with paper. A lot of people don't do an actual caravan anymore, but you just update it where it's an online type of, where you'll expose it to, you might say, well, I will actually email your listing to the top 20 buyers agents in the area. Fax, we don't do that anymore, but the same idea that you would either mail or email out or use your MLS systems to contact the other agents and expose their home. Advertising, of course, newspapers are not around anymore as much. I mean, there still are some ads, but instead of advertising, I always like to use the word marketing. Your marketing dollars are going to go much further. By now, more than 90% of people are looking online. They're not picking up the local newspaper anymore. So you have to be in charge of making those decisions. You could put some brochures. Basically, what you're trying to tell them is, here's what I'm going to do for you. I'll put a brochure box on your property. I will email this. So here's where you'll probably just use your 101 point marketing plan. And then step 3, very important, which they have no idea how to do this, because they don't know the difference between a buyer who walks in who has the money and one that walks in that doesn't have the money. So you want to pre-qualify the buyers for them and get mortgage pre-approvals. Verify the motivation of the buyer. Are they really going to close? Do they have a house to sell? What is their situation? These are really difficult questions for a seller to ask, and buyers are not really probably going to give them the answer. So agents are great for helping people sell their homes. And step 4, you're going to professionally demonstrate the features of their home, the highlights, the benefits, the area, the neighborhood. People definitely trust a local agent much more than a seller who has sort of, to them, it's an ulterior motive. They want to sell the home. They might not tell me everything, where we're so trained as agents to disclose everything that people have just come to rely on agents. But you do want to explain all this. And then you also have to explain about negotiating. And when you are representing the seller, that you would be representing them in the negotiation. And if a buyer's agent comes in, explain all of that. And then step 6, and we don't do these really long presentations anymore, just pick a few items. People don't have time anymore. I've seen people lose listings because they stayed at the home for like an hour. And it's like, I'll never have them over again. They just never left. You do probably want to touch on things like home inspections. Let them know how you can arrange different services for them. Because don't you pretty much do everything, right?